Well, hello and welcome to today's episode of the Power of Your Mind podcast. You are listening to episode number 197. I'm Victoria Gallagher, Law of Attraction hypnotist, and number one best-selling author of Practical Law of Attraction. Align yourself with the manifesting conditions and successfully attract your dreams, your goals, and a life you love. And I am also the founder of HipTalk.com and HypnoCloud apps, which gives you access to over 500 hypnosis recordings right in the palm of your hand. So be sure to download that app from the app stores. So today we are going to be talking about an attitude of abundance for manifesting success, an attitude of abundance. So before I dive into today's episode and really talking to you about all the different ways that you can start to attract and manifest more abundance into your life, I want to talk to you about one definite way that you can begin to manifest more abundance in your life. And that is when you enroll in my upcoming Law of Attraction intensive. That is a 3-day intensive where we are going to break through any of your limiting beliefs that you have primarily in the area of money, abundance, and love and health. So if you would like to break through in any of those areas and really take your life to the next level, I highly encourage you to visit lawofattractionintensive.com and check that out. You can still get in on the super early bird special until I believe it is March 31st. And there are an abundance of law of attraction manifesting techniques that we're going to be going over that 3-day intensive, which is in Las Vegas at the end of July 26th through the 28th. So come and join me. If you are interested in having an attitude of abundance, then you know that it does require actually taking action, taking steps, showing the universe that you already do have the abundance. All right, let's dive in. So the law of abundance, and there are laws of the universe that have to do with abundance. So there is a law of abundance, and the law of abundance states that we live in an abundant universe. There is plenty of everything, including love, including money, including all of the necessities that you could ever need for this life. So scarcity, on the other hand, is something that really a lot of people deal with. They deal with this scarcity lack mentality. And so what a scarcity mindset is it's a mindset that focuses automatically and powerfully toward lack and your unfulfilled needs. So for example, here's a way that scarcity mentality works. If you are feeling really hungry, all right, we've all been there before where you're just feeling really hungry. And then, when you are focused on how hungry you are, you're going to constantly be thinking about your lack of food. So, the other way that this works, if you are lonely, if you've been, without a relationship, without friends, and you're alone, and you're constantly feeling that loneliness, then you're going to constantly be bringing in more reasons to feel lonely. The other way that comes about is when you're feeling poor and you're feeling, oh my God, the bills are coming in and I just don't have enough money to pay for all these bills. And so you are focused on how you don't have enough money coming in. If you're in business for yourself and you don't have any clients or you don't have enough clients, you're going to be focused more on, whatever it is that reminds you of that thing that you're focused on. So whenever you are thinking about lack, all that does is creates more lack. Whenever you're thinking about scarcity, it's just going to create more scarcity. Whatever we think about in terms of the law of attraction, whatever we want to manifest, the more we focus on that lack, on that scarcity, the more of that we're going to create. So it stands to reason that if that's true, and you can get behind the fact that anytime you've been thinking about what you don't have, you find more proof out there that you don't have that. So the reality is that we actually do live in an abundant world. Abundance is all around you, and you can choose also to focus on abundance, even if you are in any of those situations. If you're in a situation where, the facts are you don't have enough money, or you don't have enough clients, or you don't have enough food, if you start to think about anything that reminds you of abundance, like if you didn't have enough food, you can begin to actually think about the fact that there is plenty of food growing, on farms throughout the entire world. You could literally be thinking that. You could think about the food that is in the grocery store. Start thinking about food, and the mind is going to become creative and direct you toward how you will create that food for yourself. Same thing when it comes to not having enough money. If you start thinking in terms that, there are multi-millionaires, there are multi-billionaires in this world. Now, if you think of those people, those multi-millionaires, multi-billionaires, in a bad way, you're thinking, oh, they're so selfish, they're so greedy, they're bad people. You are completely resisting your own abundance by thinking of people who have abundance as bad, selfish, greedy people. So whenever you think about abundance, you really want to think in terms of what, when you see or know about people that have a lot, the only thing that you want to take from that information is that there is an abundance in the world, and I can create abundance too, because there is an abundance. There's always enough. It's just a matter of, maybe it hasn't been allocated into your bank account yet. But if you perceive abundance, if you think about the abundance of opportunities that are all around you, if you think about the abundance of money that's all around you, you have an opportunity to change your own relationship with that. When you change your attitude about the abundance and choose to see the world as an abundant place, then you are going to begin to see more abundance in your life. And that's just a fact. So let me repeat that again. When you change your attitude, and maybe let me just say it in another way so that you could maybe write this down. So if you are any place where you could go ahead and write this down, I want you to say, and I want you to write this down. When I change my attitude about the abundance, and I choose to see the world as a place of abundance, then I'll begin to see more abundance in my life. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, it really is true. And an attitude of abundance is, it's a hopeful attitude. An attitude of abundance expects the best. When you expect the worst, or you continue to think about lack, think about scarcity, you're just perpetuating that mindset. But if you begin to just shift your focus and just be willing to think in terms of, there is an abundance and I have a right to tap into that. I deserve to tap into that abundance. Then you're going to start to see abundance show up in your life. And you can actually begin to even take action toward creating more abundance, because when you have an abundant attitude, all right, then you're going to be taking steps toward things that mean that you are abundant. So, you can even begin just by being more altruistic, and thinking about what can I give? What do I have to give? That's a wonderful way to actually show yourself that I do have abundance. When you act from abundance, not even just thinking, but acting and feeling from abundance, then, the universe is just going to raise your vibration, and the universe is going to see you as more abundant, see you as more grateful, see you as somebody who has plenty, and you will begin to create that. On the other hand, a scarcity mindset, this is a mindset that leads to negativity and selfishness. You feel the need to look out for yourself, even at the expense of others. When you have a scarcity mindset, you're feeling withdrawn. You're feeling like I don't have anything to give. And so, you tend to only think about your own needs, because you're obviously, you're feeling like your needs are not being met. And so you feel like, if you're coming from a place of lack and scarcity, then you're feeling needy, and you're feeling like, you're the only one, you have to only think about yourself. But when you're coming from an abundance mindset, abundance attitude, you're actually able to give more, and give more time, give more energy, give more attention, give more financially to the people around you when you're feeling abundant. So abundance can also, we don't necessarily mean just an abundance of money. Like I was saying, abundance of time, abundance of energy, abundance of health, abundance of love, abundance of whatever it is that you need, or that you feel that you need. You want to begin to align yourself with those feelings, with that attitude. So let me get back to I want to share the differences between the two different attitudes. So an attitude of scarcity believes that there's a limited supply of everything, and somebody else must lose in order for you to win. An attitude of scarcity believes that life is difficult, success is hard, you expect the worst, and that's usually how it turns out. Whatever you expect is usually what ends up happening. So when you expect life to be hard, you expect success to be hard, you expect the worst, you're going to be acting in such a way that that's what you're going to create. A scarcity mindset believes in opportunity, that opportunities are scarce, and you struggle to find those opportunities. You play it safe. You're afraid to lose. You live in fear. You live in pessimism. You must fight the world to get what you want and need. So if any of that sounds familiar to you, if any of those thought processes or actions or behaviors sound familiar to you, that might be a clue that you have been living from a place of scarcity. So let me give you some clues and some thinking on how a person with an abundance mindset thinks. So a person with an abundance mindset thinks there is plenty to go around, everyone can win, opportunities are easier to spot, you feel more relaxed, you feel more calm, you enjoy your life because you really feel like you trust the universe, you trust that all your needs are met, life is easier, you believe that anything is possible, you expect the best. Just like I was saying before, whatever you expect is generally what you create. And so when you believe that anything is possible and you expect the best, then things generally do go your way. You just know it's going to work out for you. And you are even willing to take more risks. And the bigger the risks you take, the bigger the reward. So, which view do you normally see the world through? Abundance or scarcity? And I say normally because I think we all have moments where we think the other way. So if if you're always coming from abundance, there might be those moments where you do have feelings of scarcity. You might feel like there's a scarce number of people that you could fall in love with. You might feel there's a scarce number of jobs that are available that you are qualified for that are going to pay you the amount of money that you want to make. So whatever it is, sometimes it just, those scarce thoughts will come into your mind, and you just want to notice when you notice that and see if you can change that around. So I'm going to go over an abundance technique here this week that you can use to help you to attract more abundance in your life. All right. So when it comes down to it, abundance is really just a feeling. If you really think about abundance, it's really just a way that we feel. It's a perspective, because one person's abundance can be somebody else's scarcity. What feels abundant to one person may not feel very abundant to another person. So when it really comes down to it, it's how you look at it. So you really want to start to take a look at whatever it is that you're focusing on, and know that whatever you are focused on expands. It expands. So one way to begin to feel abundance, and here's one technique that you can implement this week. Begin to think about where you can begin giving, which it seems totally counterintuitive, but whatever resource you feel that you lack, give that. Give that. And I don't care what it is. If it's money that you feel that you lack, even if you have $1, give that. Give that $1. Anybody can come up with $1 that they can give. Give to a charity, give to a homeless person, give to just anyone. But just whatever you are feeling that you're lacking, give that. And I will tell you, immediately you're going to be blessed with a feeling of abundance, because if you're giving something away, that means that you have a surplus. You have an overabundance, a surplus of whatever it is that you have to give. And it's just magical. And it actually feels good to give, and it tricks you into believing that you have plenty, which changes your energy and it puts you into the flow of abundance. So that's just one one technique that you can use is just give whatever it is. If you feel like you don't have enough time, if you're feeling like you need more time and you don't have an abundance of time, and I run into this a lot myself, but we all have the same amount of time. Like that's one of the things that is equal across the board. We all have the exact number of hours and minutes and seconds in every single day. And so it really just kind of comes down to how do you allocate that time? And one way that you can give yourself the feeling that you have an abundance of time is to set aside some time where you're not doing anything. That could be 10 minutes, 20 minutes in the morning, setting aside that time to meditate. That could mean just taking a time out in the middle of the day to write in your journal, or just to look out the window, or just to go for a walk where you're completely not doing anything. And when I say, going for a walk, you're not necessarily going for a walk to burn off calories, but you're just going for a walk just to demonstrate I have time to go for a walk. I'm taking time for myself. So, you want to really begin to focus on what you already have. And so that's number one, is to focus on what you already have. When you see that you do have enough of something, then you just begin to feel abundant. And the more you feel abundant, the more likely you are to attract more abundance to you. The more you feel abundant, the more likely you are to attract more abundance to you. All right, so that's number one, is focus on the abundance that you do have. Number two is to avoid people that complain a lot. All right. And we all do it. We all love to complain. We all love to compete with each other for how busy we were, or how bad the day was, or how worried, or how much anxiety, or how depressed, or how this person, or whatever it is, whatever you're complaining about. But it doesn't do anything positive for you. And complainers typically are people that have a scarcity mindset. You're in a scarcity mindset when you're complaining, because you're basically saying that I have to accept this lack of positive goodness that I'm complaining about, that I don't have right now. Whatever it is that you're complaining about, you're coming from a scarcity mindset. And so people who complain a lot are more susceptible to other people's mindsets that complain a lot. So you want to spend time with positive, like-minded people who have the mindset that you want, who have the abundance, or are working on the abundance that you want. And that's one of the other great reasons why you want to attend the Law of Attraction Intensive, because you're going to meet a lot of those people that may end up becoming your best friends as you interact with these people who have that kind of mindset that you want. These are successful people coming from all different walks of life, who are there to improve and make their life even better. So that's number two, is avoid people who complain a lot. Number three is to use visualization. Visualize that abundant future that you want. Instead of worrying about what you don't have, which, it's very easy to fall into the trap when you're feeling that feeling of lack. But, feeling that feeling of lack is just going, you're probably thinking and visualizing the things that you don't want instead. So you want to turn that around. You want to visualize intentionally the future that you do want. Instead of worrying about what you don't have, allow yourself to dream about what it is that you do want in your future. There's no risk. There's literally no risk in allowing yourself to dream, allowing yourself to visualize, allowing yourself to feel good, allowing yourself to be abundant. So visualize the abundance that you want. Number 4 is to keep a positive journal. List all the things in your life that you feel grateful for, that you feel you do have an abundance of. Whatever it is, write it down. Be sure to mention all the people that you have in your life. You probably have a home, you probably have a job, you probably have a car, you probably have a family, friends, so on. Whatever it is, just write all those things down. I mean, walk through the place where you live, walk through your place where you work, and just pay attention to everything that you do have. And that's a really, really great place to start, is just beginning to, write down all the things that you do have that you are grateful for. And you're going to see that you do have an abundance. And number 5, the 5th technique here is to be generous. To be generous. Just like we talked about earlier, if you have something, there's somebody out there who has less abundance than you do of something. So be generous with the abundance that you have and demonstrate to yourself that there is enough for everyone by sharing whatever it is that you have, including your time. So the more you share, the more others are going to want to reciprocate. So share and be generous with whatever it is that you have. Now, another way to demonstrate your abundance to yourself, your abundance of time, your abundance of energy, your abundance of money, your abundance of whatever, is by downloading HypnoCloud, because that is going to give you access to an abundance of amazing meditations, affirmations, and hypnosis sessions that are going to help you to change your mindset and create an abundance mindset. And there's even, there's 12 free sessions already unlocked for you in the app. One of them that's on the law of attraction, mastering the law of attraction, which this show is all about. So anybody who's watching this show is going to get a lot out of these 12 sessions that are already free and unlocked for you in this app. There's also a paid session that's in the subscription called Attitude of Abundance. And I get so much great feedback on this one session in particular. So download that session or listen to that session, Attitude of Abundance. You're going to absolutely love it. So how are you? Which of these techniques that I just went through, how are you going to shift into abundance this week? Are you going to just focus more of your attention and energy on the abundance? Are you going to watch your complaints and avoid the people who complain a lot? Are you going to visualize having an abundant future? Are you going to begin to keep an abundance or positivity journal? Or are you going to practice being generous? Any of those techniques, if practiced sincerely daily, by the end of the week, you are going to raise your vibration and shift into an abundance mindset. This attitude of abundance is going to allow you to powerfully move forward with confidence as you take the necessary steps to manifest success in your life. So I want to thank you so much for listening to the Power of Your Mind podcast. Thank you so much. Reach out to me. Let me know how you've enjoyed today's podcast, what other topics you would like me to talk about. Next week, we're going to come back with another very powerful session that you can use to help you to align yourself with the manifesting conditions and use law of attraction to really help you to manifest your dreams in your life. Thank you so much for listening to the Power of Your Mind podcast, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Have an abundant week.